everyone, and welcome to the 5th episode of Freebird. And today we are going to be actually covering a very interesting subject, the subject of freedom. And who better to actually talk about this subject than my dear loving friend Ania. And hello, Ania.
Hello.
I'd like to introduce you to everybody first. Ania, I've known you for, I guess, 4 or 5 years or maybe more. And to me, you represent what it means to be a free child, a free wild child of the world. A little bit about you. You were born in Odessa, the former USSR, at a time where the USSR was all about communism. There was no religion. There was really just follow the leader. From a very early age, you had a desire to travel. And so you started learning a lot of foreign languages as a means to be able to travel. And at the age of 18, you stepped out of the USSR and went to Vienna, where you joined an airline and so started pursuing your dream of traveling. But that wasn't enough, of course. And at 25, you decided to embark upon a new adventure. And so you went to Paris. And yes. And as luck would have it, it was there when you were spending time in the theaters and the cinemas that you fell in love with the cinema. And what's really amazing is that you had a dream of acting and you started acting there. So there's a French movie that you were the actress in. The English title is Mystery of the White Lady, and I will allow you to say it in French because I definitely can't.
Oh là là, it's called Le Mystère de la Dame Blanche. Voilà.
Voilà. Bien. In 2007, after spending some time in Paris and pursuing these theatric dreams, you came to Dubai, and a very special thing happened to you then. You started on your own spiritual journey and really manifesting even more within your life. And you traveled to the Himalayas, you were in my India, you studied sacred geometry, you went to the Shaolin multiple times, and you are now, or rather you have been, a master Qigong practitioner, and I don't know, like 4 levels. Basically, you're the bomb when it comes to anything martial arts oriented. So this journey took you to theta healing and hypnosis and so many other amazing things. And you've been spending a lot of time in the Dubai community, helping a lot of people with their journeys, including mine. So my question is this. You seem to have jumped into the unknown without fear. At least it seems that way. What gave you the courage to do something like that?
I think I was born with courage. So if you see my astrological chart and numerology, so I'm number 1, which is like a leader, goals, and also I have a lot of planets on my side, from astrological perspective. So I always had this kind of strong personality, so which I followed my heart, I followed my dreams, right? So I allowed myself, even though of course somewhere I would feel like, oh my God, what do I do in Paris by myself, right? But then I just do it, because I have somewhere that kind of push, and I've been always very, very adventurous. So when you are adventurous, of course you have a bit of fear, but this curiosity is much stronger than the fear. So I guess I've been like a curious cat always. So I wanted to sniff and explore, and like to have as much of joy and emotions as possible. So I guess that was what was my motor, my engine, which allowed me to do things which I dared to do.
So a lot of people live just one career and one lifetime. And here you are experimenting, traveling the world. And as a woman, I understand how it is, because, it's not always that you feel incredibly safe. Sometimes there are challenging situations and stuff like that. I want to ask you, Ania, what does freedom mean to you?
Well, yes, freedom, I think it's a luxury of being who you are, being yourself at any point in time in your life. So, but of course, it takes some work to understand actually who you are.
Yeah.
Right. So, and then you just allow yourself to express that, who you are, without being afraid of judgment, without being afraid of make mistakes. We all make mistakes. I've done plenty of mistakes, but this has made me who I am today. And I would just call it, okay, I've been experimenting, and let's not call it mistakes, let's call it experience. Yeah, because from every experience you learn, you grow, and it's actually, maybe with the time you understand it wasn't the mistake that it has happened. It was a great divine plan, which we don't always know, but we have to trust. And that's what I believe is freedom is just allow yourself to be yourself, your authentic self, discover who you are, shine that light which you have inside of you. Just be yourself. Eckhart Tolle also believes that freedom is a non-resistance. Yeah. So if you think deeply about it, so I believe if we don't resist what is to what is, then we are truly free. Yeah, because we don't have the emotion of discomfort, of pain, disappointments. You just go with the flow and you allow things to unfold for you and to happen. So in a way, it's a very deep statement. So non-resistance. But I think it's great to do some work to eliminate certain things, so that then you are in the higher vibration. And then, of course, what's the point of resisting? Then really good things are coming to you. So it's nice to go with the flow and to allow yourself to be in that high vibration where things are unfolding, and lessons are always happening at any stage in your life, but it can become easier and easier and easier. And also, if you take everything with joy and gratitude, then you're done, you're settled. And of course, there are other things.
I love what you're saying in terms of, the whole process of self-acceptance and really stepping into your own authentic self. And I think that definitely, if I had to think of a perfect definition of freedom, that would definitely be it. What I think a lot of us do get challenged with is that from a very early age, we have a lot of conditioning. And then we set out on a career path, or some of us get married, and maybe it's not what we wanted at that time. So could you speak a little bit also about, I'm sure, especially in all your spiritual work, you've met so many people who have these kind of challenges. So could you speak a little bit about, does freedom always necessarily have to mean that you can't be your authentic self even if you have responsibilities? Is there a way?
Yeah, there is a way. It takes courage to be yourself. It takes courage to set up your boundaries. It takes courage to dig deeper into yourself, to understand, oh, there are some cockroaches, right? Yes. So it's about, clearing that stuff and remove the conditioning from yourself. Of course, I've been also conditioned as a child, and but I had a very strong personality. I wouldn't allow my parents too much to condition me. And but I remember, my mom, she kept on asking from time to time when I was teaching qigong in Dubai, and I was just doing only spiritual work. So she would from time to time ask me, "Do you think maybe you would like to get a job?" So.
So mom, right? All our moms.
Yeah, because I think she wants for me to, to settle down, to have some stability. but this is where she doesn't understand. Having a job doesn't give you that kind of stability. Actually, it's illusion of stability, and then you are giving your power away of really doing something what you love and doing something which is your soul is calling you for.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot of courage to live, you know.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And you know, Anya, I was so keen to talk to you, especially because amongst all of my girlfriends, I think possibly, you know, the one that is most free spirited, the one that has more, you know, I will just go with the flow and I'll be okay no matter what life throws at me. I see that a lot in you. And I'm not only speaking to women at this point, but women and men. You know, we are so afraid and conditioned. And we believe sometimes that, you know, freedom means that we have to go out to the wilderness and break away our chains. But sometimes freedom could be as simple as taking a moment for yourself and walking down, you know, the beach, because it's honoring who you are. So I think that it's so important that these definitions be changed and we see them for not a life limiting but a life enabling kind of thing. You know, it doesn't need to come with a certain condition or a certain mindset. So another myth, common myth about freedom, and maybe you can shine some light on this one. Another common myth is that freedom comes at a price. You know, I hear this a lot when people talk sometimes that, you know, it came at a price or there was a cost to it. Do you believe, or is it your experience that freedom comes at a price?
Sometimes you have to do certain sacrifices to go after what you want, to go after your dream. So not always, but sometimes I think it is. So the price can be with different kind of value, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to I don't know, live in a small room for some time, yeah, because it is so let's say your comfort for some time can be at stake, yeah. It can be not as important as the dream you're going after. So let's say it does sometimes. You really need to see and value and just allow yourself to not to be attached sometimes to things, people's, or events, circumstances, and the attachment is a great learning anyway in life. I'm sure we are going to talk about it. So it's also the freedom. One more definition of freedom is the possibility for you, for your well-being, not to be dependent on external circumstances. So this is also like a great freedom of your spirit. So your well-being doesn't depend on the penthouse living, or that you are really you have the passion for something. It burns inside of you, and all the rest doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that, okay, you don't eat properly for some days. Like when I lived in Paris, I had different stages, right?
Yeah.
So in the beginning, I was just
tell us about
I was just like renting a room, and then I would not always eat well. But when I call my mom, I would say, "Mom, everything is great, everything fantastic. The Paris is amazing city, and I live in a very nice place." You know, at that time Skype was not available, so you cannot really call. You know, so she has to take it. You know, as a truth. Yeah. So yes, of course. And moving to a new place is always creates some troubles, creates some discomfort. But you go through it. Yeah, you have this inner strength, the courage, and what keeps your inner strength is a positive attitude. And I believe also in the power of gratitude, which I've discovered already here in Dubai through the book called The Magic. So this is a great book which helped me a lot and inspired a lot of people after me advising to read this book. It's about creating this habit of being grateful, whatever it is. So, and always find the things in your life which you can be grateful for. So if you can do that, your spirit is always filled up. Yeah, and then it can take you, it can help you to go further. Yeah, so the gratitude is a very, very strong tool. And then on daily basis, you have to do something which helps you to keep that vibration. So you need to create a healthy discipline, and just keep it up, no matter what. Like I don't always like doing exercise, right? But I know I have to do it. Like in the quarantine, I have developed a new habit since last 2 months, taking stairs, not the lift. And I live on the ninth floor. So sometimes I'm like, but I do it because I know it gives me some sort of, the workout,
And also a channel for energy and, endorphins to come into your body and stuff like that. So, yeah. But
yes.
Do you feel, so I can hear what you're saying. You're saying that freedom may come with some adjustments, but it doesn't really have to be a price that is something that is disabling, you.
No.
In all your travels and in the life that you have led, Ania, from, being an actress in French cinema to now, being a businesswoman and also managing spirituality, and did freedom come at any price to you personally, or were you just able to go with the flow?
Yeah, I go with the flow, and I understand that, for example, you need to let go of some relationship which are not serving your purpose. Yeah, which is a fair price, right? It's not something which you are really taking out of your heart, and no, but you need to respect yourself and love yourself first. It might sound selfish, but this is the way how you preserve who you are, this authenticity, how you respect your energy, your vibration, your dreams, right? So sometimes you have to let go of certain relationships, and figure out how you can do it differently. But anyway, always connect with the universe, with the angels, archangels. We have so much of love for us, and we have so much of support for us. We just need to open the heart and the mind and the third eye to tap into all that great love and support which we have. So we are actually never alone. For your information.
Absolutely. And it's so nice that I look in the Indian culture, as you know, we have always been, and we are encouraged to be close to God. There is always a lot of rituals and culture around this, right? So but I also understand in the Western world there is now a big movement. Maybe you were one of the early ones in that movement, but it was very much a foreign concept. And I see that spirituality has been a medium for you to also explore your freedom and heal and let go of these relationships or situations which were not serving you. And I think this is also some places where we as human beings do get stuck. You spoke about letting go, Ania, and I wanted to ask you, is there something that you cannot live without? I mean, you're a pretty free person. I know you personally, I know you outside in, with friends as well. But is there something that you can absolutely not live without?
I was thinking about it, as an exercise, I do it a regular check.
Yeah.
I'm exploring myself and thinking what I am attached right now. Yeah, so I do it on regular basis because it's very important not to be attached to anything. Because I have noticed if you're getting attached to something, oh my God, there will be a very big learning behind it. So I try to do it on regular basis, and I don't think I'm attached to anything. Yeah, I can. I enjoy the place where I live. I see a beautiful beach in front of me, the sea. I was dreaming about it, living by the beach. So it came true. But okay, if I need to go somewhere and live somewhere, or even move to another country, even though I love Dubai so much, I trust to divine plan. So I will just go with the flow because in the non-resistance there is freedom.
Yeah. Oh, that's so beautiful. And I know, Ania, that this kind of, courage, it doesn't come easy. There's a lot of inner work that one needs to do before any of this can happen, because we are living a 3D existence, going on with life, and then sometimes there may be challenges that come our way. There are things that we find it difficult to let go. It could be, for many people, it could be the country they live in, the jobs that they have, the relationships they're in, the marriages that they're in, taking care of someone who may not be well. There are so many life scenarios, life circumstances, as Eckhart says.
Yes.
And
Yes.
To them who are, starting up on this journey and are kind of trying to find their path, right? How do you recommend people can let go of things that pull them down to experience freedom the way it should be experienced? Do you have something that you can share which can be a little practical? Because not everyone maybe is a master Qigong like you, Qigong master like you. Not everybody has had the courage to live their lives in their more authentic manner. In fact, I would say even for myself, it was even very recently that I started letting go of things that didn't serve. Yeah. So please tell us what your point of view is on that.
Yes, as you can do some, for example, when I went for the first time to Shaolin, so we had the practice of dry fasting. Yeah, so quite often people are attached to the food, right? So this is something you think you need daily, yeah, and it's important for you to have it daily. But if you just take a practice of depriving yourself from what you are really attached and you believe you cannot do without it, so try to deprive yourself from it for some time as an exercise. Right, so I remember I changed quite a lot my attitude to the food after that kind of dry fasting. And when you understand it, you really can function and everything without any food, without any water. Everything is possible. Our body is so intelligent. Our body is, and our mind is so powerful. So we can tap more and more into that power which we have internally. We have our internal wisdom when we are removing one by one some limitations. Yeah, so a healthy exercise is when you find yourself that you are really attached to something, deprive yourself from it. Yeah, you can tell. So for example, when I do the fasting, I do it on a regular basis. So I tell myself, it's temporarily, don't worry, because the body starts, sort of alarming. She's going to starve. The girl went mad, So you speak to your body, speak to your cells with all the love, and you say that this is temporarily, this is good for us, it's good for our health. So treat your body as you are one, right? So you are doing this for all of you, for your soul, for your spirit, for your body, to get better and better. And this is about the food. Yeah. So any other subject you would like to discuss besides food attachment?
Oh, I mean, like, this is so classical Ania, by the way, guys. She's like, yes, just ask me, I will tell you. I mean, because if you look at freedom, right, and it's a very special time in the world right now with all of us sitting at home locked down and quarantine and isolated and whatever, and for many people this is kind of encourage them to question what freedom truly means, right? Yes. A lot of people have had this chance to be grateful, but for a lot of people this has forced them into situations with spending time with their family, not running away from things they don't like, or contemplating their relationships. Do I really want to be with this person, etc., etc.? So it's been a very interesting time in history,
Absolutely.
So I would like to even ask you, exercises for if people are letting go of grief or of loss or bad relationships, what is the practice that, because it's external to them, something that's internal, yes, I can deprive myself of food. But what if I am someone who is struggling to break free from a bad job or a bad relationship? What is your advice there?
So you need to meditate and agree with yourself. What is more important for you? Your peace of mind or a little bit of torture which you have through the relationship, where you feel loved sometimes, but the more there is a torture. So I remember how theta healing came into my life in 2010. So it came into my life, and I was struggling with the relationship which I had at that time. So somehow I felt a lot of resentment and maybe anger, and not getting what I want. Feel sort of tortured, I would say, emotionally. And then I did some work on myself, and I've learned somewhere a part of me which I stopped loving, which I allowed to treat me like this, right? So I did the internal work through theta healing techniques with myself, with fellow practitioners who were during the classes. And I remember my relationship has shifted. So this is the work where you always have to do inside of you, and our happiness doesn't depend on other people. So it's always inside of you something which needs to be unbroken or fixed, and it will help you to find the peace in external circumstances. About the grief, you have to allow yourself to go through the grief because it's normal. It's a human emotion. Remember, I was grieving the loss of my father 6 years ago, and my colleagues, the healers, they were telling me it's okay. You can allow yourself to grieve. It's fine. Don't keep it inside of you. Just cry it, let it go, and just allow yourself to feel it. Yeah, we are. Souls going through a human experience, and we are learning through emotions, and we understand through emotions. So it's very important for you to understand what exactly you feel, and you allow yourself to feel without creating any guilt. So it's okay. It's okay to feel those emotions. It's okay sometimes to feel that you are helpless or hopeless, and you are sometimes can wake up and not feeling at the highest and best always, right? So it's okay. So what you do is start your little routine, which you don't always want, but do it. And then meditate and agree with yourself what you are agreeing for or what you really unacceptable. Yeah. So if you agree with yourself that really it's not the best, but this gives me some meaning, right, in my life, some purpose, some learning. So I need to go through this. It's all about agreeing with ourselves, I believe.
I think that's beautiful the way you put it. And I think a lot of us, at the cost of pretending to be free a lot of times, we push away our emotions. And I really, really love what you just said here in terms of emotions being the communication that your body or your soul is giving you to heal or to process something. And I think the world would be a much better place and a much freer place if we allowed our emotions to exist the way they should exist. I think it was the Dalai Lama who said that, if everyone were to just sit with their emotions and meditate, etc., there would be no crime in the world. So, but it is not something that our school systems or necessarily our parents teach us how to do, I think, in many circumstances. So, in your case, and thank you for sharing, Ania, your life experiences and your loss my dad is sick, so I understand the grieving process in terms of, I think for a long time I didn't allow myself to feel bad about his illness, because
Mm-hmm.
it was just that I thought I have to be brave and put on this mask and all of that and be this strong Indian woman,
Yes.
independent. Oof, oof.
No.
But it is these things that we don't express and let fly, like a bird, that stay in our chest and then cause diseases and so many other things. So I think that, when we say freedom, a lot of people think it's about a 9 to 5 job or about where I live. But it's so much bigger than that, isn't it? It's this inner self discovery. So
Yes.
the stuff that you're talking about, Anya, did you learn all of this at the Shaolin, or what was your healing and spiritual practice after you came to Dubai?
Yeah, I'm blessed to have a lot of great masters in my life. So I've been learning a lot from different teachers from different modalities, and then I had the privilege to share my knowledge. Being a teacher myself. So I believe I've taken bits of wisdom from different part of the world, from different amazing modalities. Like my first spiritual teacher is Master Xu Mingtang. He's the Chinese master of. He's a Grand Master of Qigong. And then I had experience of theta healing with Master Cole, and then also Vayana Stable, the founder of the theta healing. And now Mr. Cole is also teaching karma yoga, which I've done his courses. So there's more knowledge always coming up. And then there is Master Umesh Nambani, who has I followed his international self-empowerment program, Awaken the Divine You, where we travel to different parts of the world. I've been to Peru, I've been to Hawaii, and other beautiful countries where you reconnect more and more with who you are. And from there, you get that power, because our soul is living right now on this earth, but our soul is multidimensional, and it exists in other let's say dimensions, and it has a lot of knowledge and a lot of inner wisdom and skills and power. So if you are able to tap into that, you would not give this knowledge for any price in the world, because this is so priceless to understand who you are. And by understanding that, by tapping into that, then you just make an agreement with yourself that you will allow yourself, no matter what, being who you are, speaking your freedom, living your life the way your soul desires. Um, doesn't mean that I would do no matter what, right, or anything, but which is in alignment with my highest calling, with my highest self. Yeah. So that's what I believe, and I'm so grateful, of course, for having been exposed to so much great knowledge. Reiki also I have mentioned, yeah. So, and then I've been teaching Qigong meditation for many years in Dubai, starting with the Third Eye Center. Used to be on Sheikh Zayed Road before, and in other places as well. I also had personal students uh, and friends as well, yeah, so who have become my friends. So yeah, I've been quite fortunate and blessed to, and I allowed myself, right? So it's just the life took me to that new direction, and I went for it. Yeah. So at some point in my life, I wanted to do the acting, and I did it. Yeah. So, and then at some point of my life, I wanted to do the painting, and I did it. And I had 3 personal exhibitions as well in Dubai.
I forgot that you are also an artist with exhibitions that you have conducted in Dubai, and that, I mean, exactly, you have lived many lives in this one life. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's about, you know, discovering one by one your gifts,
Yeah.
and allow yourself to express them, because I believe we all have different gifts, and life is about understanding what is your specific, particular, and amazing gift, and then share it with others. And how you share it is about expressing and being who you are. And I have noticed that life was unfolding for me, this gift and that gift, and then so I've been a spiritual teacher. I still am, but since 3 years, I'm focusing on the business. So I see myself as a woman entrepreneur, which was really, really, you know, different from what I used to experience before. I
Yeah.
guess my mother, she prayed well, which
Finally listen to your
I
mom.
yeah, but it's not a job from 9 to 5. It's the freedom of experiencing yourself as a woman entrepreneur, as a
Yeah.
woman, as a businesswoman. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's another freedom, which is financial freedom, and all of the freedoms are super important for us.
Absolutely. So, Anya, though you're so free, but suppose in this human lifetime, right? Um, suppose I were to tell you that you could have only the physical possessions that you can put into a backpack. Okay. I give you 10 minutes and I tell you that, okay, only whatever can fit in a small backpack, you can have that and you have to run through the door. What would you put inside it?
Yeah. Okay. I take my friend.
Everybody, I just want to say this. Like we all think that spirituality is like, woo, all of that. But this is what it looks like, you know? It's freedom.
Yes. So I have this cute little dog which has been my, you know, companion. He has done all the courses, you know, in the world, because he has traveled with me.
And
So it's
what's his
a
name?
very enlightened dog, you know.
His name is Daniel or something, right? No.
Daniel,
Daniel.
yes. He has been with us to Kerala as well. So okay, so I take Daniel with me. I take, of course, my Kangen water bottle,
With
right?
you.
Yes. Or if I could, I would take the machine with me as well, you know. But I don't know if I will have enough time to dismantle it. Yeah. I take my passport because I accept and I love my identity. And I take my credit cards and a couple of sets of clothes. That's it. Maybe, I don't know. If I have time, I'll take a few jewelries, but it's okay. Yeah, I can. I have restarted my life from zero a couple of times, so I'm not afraid of that.
All
Yeah.
right. No, I mean that's what's most amazing, and I know that you are just like a lion.
Yeah.
I think, Anya, that you are one of those people that it doesn't even matter whether you have a backpack or not. You can start wherever you are because you have done that inner work. And
Yes.
what I
I
really
have myself.
yes,
I
and
have my soul. I have myself. That's the most important.
absolutely. And what I really want to share today as we close off is that for many people, we think of spirituality as something which is, sitting in a meditation room, only candles and everything, and maybe walking away from the glamorous, life. And I don't think that that's what spirituality or freedom means. I think freedom essentially is the expression of who you authentically are and not being apologetic about it. And so
Yes.
I applaud you, I cherish you, and I thank you for being you and for holding the light up for all of us to also be okay with being ourselves and not judging ourselves for the way we appear or look or sound, So may we all be free, and I hope that today's episode will reach out to someone who needs to hear this and feel more free in who they are. So thanks, Anya. Love you loads.
Thank you, Sneh. It was wonderful to speak with you, and we covered really great subjects, very important for us, yes, to keep our happiness and our balance. It's all about the balance, yin and yang. Yeah, it's a different expression of the same existence. So it's okay to feel yin one day, but it's okay to feel yang another day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you.